What your brain will do is it will keep going back over and looking at all the broken pieces, going through the detritus and the corpses and the arguments and the emails and the WhatsApp messages and looking for clues. It goes into detective mode, like a neurotic detective mode. I know it feels very self-destructive, but actually it's your brain trying to protect itself. Your brain is not your friend, not all the time. Your brain will tend towards repetition. Your brain will tend towards certain default settings that don't help you. We tend to focus on the negative rather than the positive, and we are more motivated to run away from pain than we are to run towards pleasure. Survival mechanism that evolved in a very harsh environment. A negative, nasty relationship break was a very painful experience. Now, the monkey brain is trying to map where the pain is in the environment. So then it goes, all men are dangerous, all men are bad, all men are abusive, all relationships are bad, love is bad, love doesn't exist, love isn't real. And then it will go, and those beliefs can form. We can shatter those beliefs, we can redress them and change them. That's not that difficult to do. But the brain won't stop until it's had answers to certain questions like, why did my ex-partner behave like that? Why isn't he trying to make this better? We split up 2 months ago and he's not pursuing me, he's not trying to make it right again. Why was my partner so cruel to me? Why was my boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, so dismissive of me? And here we come to some painful truths. Your view of who your partner was when you were going out with them might have been wrong. It might have been inaccurate. So for those of you who are suffering from analysis paralysis and your brain is just pulling itself apart with why did they do this, why did they do that, there's a few things I would advise you to do. One thing is you've got to get to grips with the reality of who that person really is, beyond all the romance, beyond all the intimacy, and beyond all the blinding effects of pair bonding. You'll know what pair bonding is, right? It's how the unromantic scientists define falling in love. And it is a very powerful process, and anything that's powerful is by necessity dangerous. And it does cause our perceptions to go a bit faulty. So you've got to accept that maybe you didn't see that person as they really were. Well, now is the time to see them as they really were. Actions speak louder than words. Forget what they said. Forget the text messages and what they said, face to face, what they said when they wrote it down. Forget all of that. Look at what they did. Look at what actually happened and analyze it from that point of view. You don't have to character assassinate them. You don't have to write them off as a human being, but you have to say to yourself, I will now get a realistic grasp of who this person was, past tense. I'll deal with that. As painful as that will be, I will deal with it and let it go. Sometimes life hurts. Sometimes love hurts. But I don't want you to suffer over the wrong things. Your brain pushing you to overanalyze. In most areas of your life, more analysis means more power. But in the area of romance, it really doesn't. What it is that you're trying to do is you're trying to deny two painful realities. Your ex was a dick. They're just not, I know that's not politically correct to say. I know nobody involved in psychology should ever say that about anybody, but the simple fact is, boys and girls out there are some people who are just not very nice. And they don't give a shit about how you feel. And they're not interested in psychology. And they're not analysing the rights and wrongs philosophically of the proper way to conduct themselves. Why? Because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit now. They didn't give a shit when you were with them. They didn't give a shit before they even knew your name. And they probably won't give a shit for the rest of their lives. Don't project your values. I have to remind myself all the time. Stop projecting your perspective and your values onto other people. They're not coming from the same place as you, they're coming from a different place. A narc is a narc is a narc. A narcissist is a narcissist is a narcissist. They don't want and need your help. So you've got to get hold of that and go, that's who they were, and that's okay. Then you've got to get hold of the fact that you fell in love with somebody whose values are so mismatched with yours that you find it repellent. They have no compassion. Please do be kind with yourself, but firm. Accept that person was not the person you thought they were. Accept it, say it in your head over and over again. Cry. If you need to fucking cry, then cry. Don't hold back grief. Let's get Freudian for a second here. Any natural urge that is not expressed, but that is repressed and suppressed, is going to manifest somewhere else in a weird, twisted way. If you're not grieving for them, at least grieve for what could have been, what should have been. Grieve for the dream of being together. Grieve for the future that you had planned together that will now never manifest. I know that hurts. Let that hurt. Let it hurt. Don't fight it. Just let it hurt. It will pass. But it won't pass if you fight. What you resist persists. What you look at will disappear.